Do you have a paranormal encounter you'd like to share with us? Send us an email with your story for a chance of it being featured on Weird World. Explore 2 more true accounts of unexpected journeys into parallel universes. Join a couple as they face altered memories and subtle yet inexplicable changes to their reality after 2 near-death experiences. Follow another man's surreal encounter with death, leading him to question if he's been given a second chance in a parallel world. Such stories not only raise the possibility of the existence of parallel realities, but also invite us to wonder if such extreme circumstances may allow us to switch between them. Did we both die? It was the winter of 2012 when Ethan and Olivia first met in a university class they were both taking. Olivia was studying to become an English teacher, and Ethan was working towards his electrical engineering degree. They instantly clicked over their shared complaints about the coursework, and before long, a relationship blossomed. After 2 years of dating, Ethan and Olivia decided to move in together in 2014, into a small 1-bedroom apartment near campus. It was difficult at first to adjust to sharing such a small space, but in time, the couple fell into a comfortable routine. Olivia graded papers at the kitchen table, while Ethan tinkered with circuits on the floor. They bickered light-heartedly over TV shows and cuddled on the second-hand couch they had found at a garage sale. The first sign that something was off came in late November 2015, following a serious traffic accident. Ethan was driving home from work when his truck hit a patch of black ice on a winding country road. His truck spun violently across the lanes and slammed headfirst into an oncoming pickup truck. The crash was so brutal that both vehicles were totaled beyond repair. Inexplicably, when the first responders arrived on scene, they found Ethan and the other driver shaken but miraculously unharmed, except for a few scrapes and bruises. The police and insurance agents were baffled that such a catastrophic accident hadn't resulted in severe injuries or fatalities. Ethan chalked his unbelievable luck up to divine intervention, and after a battery of tests at the hospital, he was released to recover at home. When Ethan arrived at the apartment he shared with Olivia a few days later, he made an odd comment about the new flat-screen TV resting on the bedroom dresser. "When did you get the new TV?" Ethan asked casually. "Where's the old tube TV we had?" Olivia stared at her boyfriend, confused. She had owned that small flat screen since she was 13. Throughout their entire relationship, it had sat in the same spot on her dresser. Olivia showed Ethan a Facebook photo of them, taken just weeks earlier, with the TV visible in the background. But Ethan insisted that the photo must have been altered. He claimed to vividly remember her owning an old bulky tube TV from their first date onward. As the couple stared uneasily at each other, the first creeping sensations that something was fundamentally wrong began to take hold. Over the next few years, Ethan and Olivia moved past the bizarre TV incident, focusing on building a life together. After graduating university, Olivia took a position teaching high school English, while Ethan landed an engineering job with the local county. In 2017, they married at a small countryside chapel with friends and family in attendance. By 2019, the couple had decided that the time was right to expand their family. One chilly night in late February, they tossed their birth control aside, hoping to become pregnant. Just weeks later in March, Olivia's period arrived. It was unusually heavy and accompanied by severe abdominal cramping. She chalked it up to stress and pushed through the discomfort. When Olivia accompanied Ethan on a long-awaited trip to Italy shortly after, she was still quietly struggling through the lingering effects of her agonising menstrual cycle. While exploring the sights of Rome on their third day abroad, the stabbing cramps flared up once more. Olivia took refuge in a small cafe restroom as the severe pain gripped her body. Something was terribly wrong. This was more than just routine period pains. Ethan assessed the situation and quickly flagged down an ambulance to transport his ailing wife to the nearest hospital. The physician diagnosed Olivia with a life-threatening ruptured ectopic pregnancy that was bleeding heavily into her abdomen. Emergency surgery was her only chance of survival. Miraculously, Olivia pulled through the gruelling procedure and made a full recovery over the ensuing months back in the States. But this brush with tragedy was only the beginning of the bizarre events in store for the couple. The months after Olivia's brush with death in Rome were filled with relief and celebration. She healed well after the trauma of emergency surgery and soon was cleared to resume normal activities. Ethan tended to his wife's every need during this time, grateful that fate had spared her life. By the summer of 2019, the couple decided to purchase their first home together, a small 2-bedroom apartment just on the outskirts of town. Moving day was exhausting but exciting as they unpacked their joint belongings in their new home. One area of tension arose around properly fireproofing their ageing new home. Ethan insisted that they invest in a compact fire extinguisher as a safety precaution, but Olivia pushed back at the added expense. She felt it was likely unnecessary. But after much cajoling from her cautious husband, Olivia eventually relented. In early September 2019, the couple made a trip to their local home depot and selected a compact extinguisher to mount in the front hall coat closet. Ethan marked the wall and made pilot holes to ensure secure mounting. After 15 minutes of cursing and repositioning, he successfully installed the extinguisher, albeit at a slightly crooked angle. Olivia snapped photos to commemorate the minor victory. 3 months later in December, Olivia offhandedly referenced the newly purchased extinguisher during a conversation about the catastrophic wildfires happening in Australia. But Ethan had no idea what she was talking about. He insisted that they had never purchased one. Bewildered, Olivia led her husband to the front closet to confirm its existence. But upon opening the door, they were met with a bare wall, devoid of any holes, paint smudges or hanging mounts, and most crucially, no fire extinguisher. Not only this, but the photos she had taken immediately after installation were nowhere to be found on her phone. Although both were perplexed, Ethan admittedly felt vindicated that he was not the only one apparently losing his mind. First the mysterious incident with the TV, and now a seemingly important joint purchase which, according to the evidence, had apparently never occurred. They both speculated as to whether they had both somehow slipped between parallel worlds, where small innocuous details of their life together had somehow shifted. They also contemplated whether each of their respective near-death experiences may have had something to do with it. They have long since resigned themselves to ignorance, accepting that they will likely never have an explanation for the strange incidents and how they were connected, if they were at all. I think I died. It was a crisp autumn evening in late September 2019 when Walter Hill received an unexpected call from his next-door neighbour Stan, requesting help moving some furniture. Walter and his wife Jenny had only lived in the area for a few months, but had already developed a fondness for Stan and his elderly mother, who struggled with mobility issues. Walter hurried next door and was met by Stan and another man named Father Anthony, the local parish priest. Stan explained that his mother had purchased a new sleep number bed, but its bulkiness made manoeuvring it up the stairs quite difficult. Walter agreed to assist right away. With some creative disassembling and shifting, the three men managed to get both mattress pieces settled into the master bedroom. But then Stan sheepishly admitted he had one more favour to ask of Walter, helping to move a large antique wardrobe from Stan's travel trailer into his house. As the three of them struggled to angulate the heavy wooden wardrobe up the front porch stairs, disaster struck. On the 6th step, both Stan and Father Anthony lost their grips. Walter bore the brunt of the weight for a few breathless moments before the force sent him toppling backwards onto the walkway, with the wardrobe crashing down directly on top of his fallen body. In those dizzying moments of freefall, Walter's life inexplicably flashed before his eyes. He witnessed memories of childhood games, his wedding day, Christmases and vacations. Then suddenly he was opening his eyes with a gasp as his cell phone rang loudly on the dining room table in front of him. Disoriented, Walter suddenly heard his wife's inquisitive voice call out, "Are you going to get that, hun?" Walter numbly replied, "Yes, dear." The familiar voice of his neighbour came through, politely asking if Walter would be able to come over to assist with moving his bedroom furniture upstairs. Walter hesitantly agreed before hanging up, feeling totally bewildered. He walked next door as if in a dream, greeted at the door once again by a grinning Stan and the parish priest, Father Anthony. Walter staggered back in disbelief. Hadn't he just been here? As Stan described the need to move the sleep number bed once more, Walter dazedly revealed his vivid memory of already participating and nearly dying in a tragic accident on those very same porch stairs just minutes earlier. Stan listened to Walter's shocking story with bemused skepticism until Walter began accurately describing the exact layout of Stan's upstairs bedroom in precise detail, a room he had never before entered. At last convinced something uncanny had occurred, Stan and Father Anthony peppered Walter with questions about what he had experienced after the accident. But Walter had no concrete answers. One moment he was dying, the next he was sitting in his own dining room as if no time had even passed. Father Anthony excitedly theorised that perhaps God had sent Walter back to the precise instant before his death to spare his life and give him a second chance. But Walter considers that to be a self-centred explanation, stating that thousands of people die every day. Why am I so special?